Hey there. Guess what time it is? That's right. It's time for This Day in History for June 21st, 2024. Not that matters, but, it's all about this day. I'm a little bit of a time crunch, so I'm going to breeze right through this. I say that now, but it's probably going to... whatever. Anyway, let's do the birthday, shall we? 1905, Jean-Paul Sartre, Sartre. I'm sure I probably butchered it. He was a French novelist and a playwright. He was awarded the 1964 Nobel Prize for Literature, but he declined it. Not sure why, but yeah. He was born on this day in 1905. On this day in 1919, Paolo Soleri was an Italian-American architect. He was best known for utopian city planners. He was best known for being one of the utopian city planners of the 20th century. That's what that note was. Sorry. 1953, Benazir Bhutto was born on this day. She was the first female prime minister of Pakistan, which is predominantly a Muslim country. So, it was huge for a woman to be elected to high office in a Muslim-controlled country. She did 2 terms. She was mired with a lot of scandal and controversy. Her and her husband both. There were some corruption charges. She actually exiled in... what country was it that she went to? I can't remember. I think it was somewhere in the Arabian Peninsula that she went to. But she exiled there, all the while lobbying to get the charges dropped against her husband, who had actually spent some time in prison. And when she felt it was time to come back, but see, the things like she was exiled because she came back, they were going to arrest her, and then of course they would have convicted her, sentenced her to death, that sort of thing. So when she did come back, she had come back, lobbying for, his release. But she was assassinated in 2007. I believe it was by suicide bombing, if I recall. Say what you will about her, but the fact is that she was the very first female prime minister for Pakistan, and that was a huge feat in and of itself. So whether she really was politically corrupt, I don't know. Not judging her, praising her accomplishment for being what she was, the first female prime minister. 1955, Michael Platini was a French football player and administrator. He was born on this day. Now, French football, they're probably saying soccer. I said it. It's soccer. 1967, Yingluck Shinawatra was born on this day, Prime Minister of Thailand. On this day in 1982, William, Prince of Wales. That's right, Prince William, as in the son of now King Charles, and then Princess Diana. Their oldest son, William, was born on this day. So, happy birthday, Your Highness. May you have a blessed day. On this day, 1983, Edward Snowden was born. And who was Edward Snowden? Well, he's been in the media limelight for probably the last, 15 years or better. He was an American intelligence contractor, and he was a whistleblower. Currently living exiled because if he ever steps foot in the United States, he's going to be tried for treason for releasing classified information. I won't get into that because, I really don't have any skin in the game other than, on one hand, I want to be pissed because he released information that could have compromised the safety of our soldiers in the field. On the other hand, I've also been told that his whistleblowing actually saved some American lives American soldiers' lives. So if that's the case, then I mean, that should be heralded. But who knows? It's a propaganda spin. So sometimes you just never truly know who's telling you the truth and who's lying to you. So that's it for the birthdays. On this day in 1813, the Battle of Vittoria was fought during the Peninsular War, and it broke Napoleon's power in Spain. In 1834, Cyrus McCormick received a patent for his 1831 invention of a reaper, and what that was is that it's just that it's a farming implement. It was a wagon-drawn implement that basically cut wheat down. Think of it probably as a predecessor to the combines that farmers use today when they're when they're harvesting their hay or alfalfa or whatever big grasses that they grasses or wheat that they harvest. They use big combines now, and the theory is essentially the same. It's a vehicle driven that cuts the stalk down and then gathers it. So the reaper, he got his patent for his reaper on this day in 1834. In 1870, Tianjin massacre happened. This is in China. It was a violent outbreak of Chinese xenophobia, Chinese xenophobic sentiment towards Westerners. So a big massacre had happened. If I'm reading between the lines correctly, it looks like a bunch of Chinese killed a bunch of Westerners because they didn't like them being there. In 1893, the Ferris wheel. Inventor George Washington Gale Ferris Jr., he invented the Ferris wheel. Well, the Ferris wheel is debuted at the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago for the very first time. This Ferris wheel is erected and it's shown to the public for the first time, and the rest is history. Now you know where the Ferris wheel came from. I never get in those things. I'm afraid of heights. No, thank you. We fast forward to 1963. Paul VI was elected Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. We fast forward to 1982, the same year that Prince William was born. John Hinckley Jr. was ruled innocent by reason of insanity. You might know this name because he was the wackadoo that shot President Reagan. It was a big deal. One of one of the guys in his cabal was Jim Baker. Or no, not Jim Baker, Jim Brady, excuse me. He was shot and paralyzed. I guess Hinckley popped off a bunch of rounds. He got Reagan. He shot Reagan once or twice. Brady was shot and was paralyzed for it. Brady was made more notably famous later on in the 90s when he helped promote the Brady gun bill, which didn't do anything. It didn't deter crime. I sold firearms for a living at the time, and I know exactly what that bill did. It created more issues than it solved. They thought that it was going to curb gun crime, that gun crime was going to go down, and really all it did is that it it caused more issues. The way that the system was set up was that they would automatically decline a background check, because I'll let you in on a little secret. NICS would decline. They declined about every 10-ish. Every 10 applications were an automatic decline for, and it wasn't an outright refusal. It was this is a pending. They would, and then they'd come back 3 days later when you went back and you called them 3 days later. Oh yeah, it's good. Go ahead and. But they had to show that they were getting that they were legitimately declining background checks, which was stupid. And then you would have overzealous gun shop owners. And this actually happened where I'm from, because I actually talked to a gun owner who came into our store and said, and he basically bragged about doing it, is that, so you have someone who got declined, and so the guy immediately calls the county sheriff, and the county sheriff comes and arrests that guy for attempting to buy a gun when, based on the background check being declined, was arrested, and now is a prohibited possessor from that point going forward, because it was a gun crime. Or you would have someone who marked on the 4473 wrong, or they just, so there's the right way to do it is there are certain questions you have to answer yes to, and certain questions you have to answer no. If you do the opposite, it's an automatic, decline, right? We wouldn't even call NICS. We were like, oh, you answered this. This is verboten. I can't sell this firearm to you. Sorry. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Send them on their way. This guy, I believe in that the second scenario was that's I think that's what really happened there was, oh, he put a yes when he was supposed to put a no, and then he calls it in, and the guy gets arrested. When realistically, all the guy had to do was say, well, you didn't break the law by answering the form righteously, but you're not even supposed to be here to purchase a firearm, because by this point here, you're a prohibited possessor. So rather than just sending the guy on his way and saying, sorry, can't sell, he calls the cops, right? And of course, the Brady folks claim that as a victory, when really all it did is you just created another criminal that you didn't need to create. You didn't, that gun owner, that firearms dealer did not have to sell that gun, because legally he couldn't. But all he had to do was just say, get out of my shop. So kind of a little bit of a tangent there, but I mean, that's what happened. So at any rate, what happened to John Hinckley was that he was a nut job, right? And when asked why he did it, he was so infatuated and enamored with a young star by the name of Jodie Foster, right? Was absolutely in love with Jodie Foster. And he said that he shot the president to get her attention. So he spends a considerable amount of time in a funny farm. He was released from the funny farm several years ago, if I remember right. But it's like he's quite a bit older, and he doesn't pose any threat. Reagan's passed away now, and he's been passed for about 20 years now. But it was just, sorry, tangent. Moving right along, 1997 is the WNBA debuted, the Women's National Basketball Association. The New York Liberty defeated the LA Sparks in their first inaugural game, which happened on this day in 1997. I didn't realize they were around that long. I thought it was more of a 2000s thing, but in 2009, Greenland became self-governing as expanded home rule agreement with Denmark took effect. So Denmark actually, if it's my understanding, Iceland and Greenland were actually territories of Denmark. And so it was in 2009 that Denmark said, okay, Greenland, you can autonomously rule yourself. We're not going to rule over you. And I think that's where that old hubbub a few years ago came about, that, Greenland's up for sale, and Trump is going to buy Greenland and add Greenland into the, as a territory to the United States. We're going to make Greenland another state. And it was all bunk, but because Greenland wasn't for sale. And they were like, no, we are not for sale. And if we were, we politely decline to becoming any of any ownership to the United States. Thanks. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Whatever. The featured event today is on this day in 1945, Japanese forces defeated on Okinawa. Less than 3 months after U.S. troops landed. I don't know why they used U.S. troops. Because it was the Marines. You know, the Marines stormed the beaches. They attacked the islands. And then once they pacified the islands, they would then turn over occupation to the Army so that they could move on to the next island. So it was U.S. Marines. You know, Semper Fi. I was Army, but I have a lot of good Marine friends. So, at any rate, that concludes this day in history. It's a beautiful day, and I need to go eat before I go to work. So, have a blessed day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Love one another. You know, like, don't hate. Hate stupid. Let's be good to each other, and let's try to leave this world a little bit better place than how we found it, shall we? All right, there's my pep talk for the day. Have a blessed day. Take care, and we will do this again tomorrow for, what was today's date? Oh, yeah. We'll do it again tomorrow for June 22nd. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.